Hey friends, give me 1 second. All right, welcome everybody. This is Eric Allen. Excited to have another special VIP webinar on a pretty important topic. Tonight we're going to talk about closing and handling objections. I appreciate you taking just a little time out of your busy, crazy life. We have team members from all over the world here, and I will make this recording available to anyone who's not able to get on it. For those of you who want to watch it again. So this is a follow-up to a webinar that I did a couple weeks ago on inviting. So we're going to jump right in and get going here. All right, real quick, this is worth getting good at, ladies and gentlemen. I want to start off with the income disclosure statement. I don't know where else you can live this lifestyle here. I'm not promising anybody that you're going to make this kind of money, but rest assured there is nothing stopping any one of you from making that kind of money. You're gonna have to work your rear ends off. You're gonna have to get good at this stuff, get good at inviting, get good at sharing the deal. But hey, you're all working hard anyway. And for me and many other leaders, we just found something that's worth getting good at. And the best part about hitting the top income ranks and making that kind of residual income is that you get to bring a whole lot of people with you. You create some of the most amazing friendships and relationships, including all of you that are on this presentation. Just about none of you would have been in my life if it wasn't for this idea. So tonight we are going to follow up on our presentation on inviting. If you have not watched that recording, get that link from somebody. JC Wagaman and Keith Webb have put together a great website at wvteaminferno.com. That's wvteaminferno.com. They'll be putting some of these recordings up there. So let me recap what we talked about as far as inviting and getting people to see the gift that we have in World Ventures. And the only money-making activity is inviting, ladies and gentlemen, creating an exposure. That's all we get paid to do, share the deal. And once we share these ideas, well, then we're going to talk about today's topic, which is just handling objections and closing. Handling objections and closing. That's the natural follow-up to the invitation process. And as we talked about, some key principles here. Fast is fun, slow is painful. Some of you are learning that the hard way. Fast is fun, slow is painful. Let's get through the no's and the think about it to get to the yeses. I tell anybody on this journey, if you want to make life-changing income, certainly if you want to get up to a six-figure income, six-figure residual income as well, then you need to put in 30 personals as quickly as possible. Some of you hear that number right now and you say, oh my goodness, I don't even have my first, or I don't even have my 4, my wings, my 6, whatever it is. And in your mind, you're saying there's absolutely no way I can do that. And I'm here to tell you, you're absolutely right. Others of you say, well, whether I'm living in Indiana, Canada, Australia, wherever throughout the world, I can go talk to 100 people right now, and chances are maybe one at best has seen any kind of formal presentation of World Ventures. So if I just share with enough people, I will eventually get 30, 40, 50, 60, however many to say yes. And I'm here to tell you, you're absolutely right as well. If you believe you can, or if you believe you can't, you're right. Obviously, this webinar, this journey that I am on is geared towards the winners in life, not the whiners, okay? I'm all about the 2%ers. So the average international marketing director, as you saw in the income disclosure statement, makes, on average over $500,000 all the way up to over $2 million now. Has put in, it was about 63, it's probably closer to 73 or more now. So hopefully you're the type of person that says, man, if I just go share with enough people, whatever my number is, I will eventually get 63, 73, 83, 100, whatever it is, to say yes. And I'm living proof of that, friends. The only reason I have the privilege of getting on these presentations and living the lifestyle I do is because I've just been willing to go through more numbers and sort through more people than most people are willing to do, to listen to the objections and excuses that we're going to address on this webinar. Guys, if there was ever a time for you to get uncomfortable, to go for it, these next 90 days, the momentum we're seeing with our company, the direction we're heading, the announcements that we're coming out with, now's your time, man. Now's the time to create generational wealth, to create a legacy that you can be so proud of for future generations to come. Now is the time to do that. I hope that resonates with somebody on this presentation. If there's ever a time to quit holding back, to quit letting the little things steal the big things here, to get the excuses out of the way, to, you know, bury the limiting beliefs. I mean, now's that time. So I promise you, those who get 200 no's in the next 90 days are going to win big, because inevitably you're going to get to the yeses. See, you can't say or show the wrong thing to the right person. So get out of your own way. Let's get busy. Let's go change the world together. All of you are just one good meeting away from changing your life. Is it worth it to you to sort through the numbers to get to that next person who's going to change your life? I've put in well over 100 people, closer to 200 personal enrollments the last 5.5 years. There are 8 key leaders, 8 key meetings I had that account for most of the 350,000 plus active members on my team throughout 28 countries as of today. Was it easy? No, that's never my promise. Was it worth it? An emphatic hell yes, it was worth it, just like it will be for you. You're all working hard anyway. You're all working hard anyway. Might as well work hard at something that's worth getting good at, because this one improves, enhances every facet of your life, professionally, personally, lasting legacies, you name it. All right, so we established these principles on our last presentation on inviting. Again, get the recording of that, watch it. We got great feedback. It's been viewed well over 1,000 times on YouTube already. Okay, so make sure you watch that again and again if it's helpful, which I know it will be. So here's the thing. What we're going to talk about today, handling objections. Okay, I don't like the term overcoming objections, because to me that leads you to believe you have to be a good salesperson. You have to convince people against their will. You have to sell people on this idea. Our only job here is to share. We are looking for those who are looking for us. Okay, so right now there's not a single one of you on this presentation, because I'm included, that has maximized your warm market. People who know you, like you, by first name, or at least know you by first name, you know them by first name. The documentation is pretty clear in our country that by the time you're 21 years of age in the United States of America, which I'm sure is the same for our Canadian friends and Australian friends and Asian friends and everyone else who's going to watch this presentation, that there's 1,000 people who know you by first name. So please don't come and tell me that you don't have anybody to talk to. Talk to them, and then watch that webinar I did on prospecting in your cold market and, you know, filling your funnel that way. Okay, so your list is your leverage. I want to talk about this idea of closing, of getting people to sign up. What you have to understand is, as human beings, we're all wired to understand, to just appreciate this. Don't sign up for the class. Just take my word that we're all wired as human beings, where fear of loss is the greatest human motivator in the world. People will do more out of a fear of loss than a desire for gain. And the way our compensation plan works, those who say yes to you get the next best spot on one of your 2 teams. There is only one of 2 places they can go. And for many of you already, one of your teams is already taken off. So now you're in the sweet position where literally those who say yes can only go in one position. All right, and here's what you got to understand. If you show up and get somebody to see the ideas, you know, whether it's a weekly presentation, a launch party, which we're having phenomenal success with right now here locally, launch parties for new people that are open to the entire team, you know, travel parties, you know, 2-on-1s at coffee shop, lunch, whatever. Okay, what you have to understand is that if you can show up with a physical list of hundreds and hundreds of people, as opposed to a few people or even a few dozen people, something magical starts to take place. You're able to create that fear of loss right away. So as soon as somebody sees the idea, if they can understand that you have hundreds of people that you are going to be sharing this exact same gift with, and you explain to them that many of those people would have to go on their team once they are able to make a few $100 decision that can change their life, the chance of them signing up becomes exponentially greater every time you do that. However, if you've only got one name or no name or a few names or no list at all, one, you don't have any kind of posture because you're becoming emotionally attached to whether they say yes or not. And 2, it's very hard to create a fear of loss because you don't have any visual representation that you're going to go show more people. So just trust me on this human nature trait that we all have. Just add to that list. It's a breathing, growing list. And then when they fill out an application, you go back to everybody else on that list who hasn't told you no yet, okay? And you give them the courtesy call to sign up first, okay? I've been able to take one application, turn it into 8 or more applications in a day because I continually sow the seeds, sow the seeds, sow the seeds. Then when I get somebody who pulls the trigger, says yes, I can go back to all the others who haven't told me no and get them to sign up. So again, I went into depth on a lot of these inviting topics on the last presentation. Make sure you see that, but this is key when this idea of signing somebody up or closing somebody, getting them enrolled into World Ventures. I don't like the terminology closing them, just getting them enrolled. Okay, so put the odds in your favor. Now, I don't care what how the exposure unfolds. If it's a launch party, which we're having probably the best conversion rate right now, and we open those up to the entire team, or another travel party at an existing team member's house, the weekly presentations, the 2-on-1 with a proven leader, a 1-on-1 just push play. Worst case, you're doing an online presentation with somebody outside your geographic area, followed by a 3-way call or Skype. So now let's transition into today's topic, which is enrolling somebody and handling the objections. This is just part of the deal. This is why most of you are not inviting and exposing as many people as you should be, because this is the part where you set yourself up, heaven forbid, to be told no, or to hear some of the excuses or some of the things that we've all heard. And again, I'm here to tell you the only difference between those of us who are winning big here and those who are not is that those of us who are willing to go through this process over and over and over and over and deal with human nature over and over and over and over and listen to the the BS excuses over and over. And I didn't say tolerate, I just said listen and hear them and get told no and get told these things. That's just part of the deal, guys. That's if you're doing your job by creating the exposure. This next section we're going to talk about today is just the natural evolution of the process. And for many of you, this is what scares you because of the unknown. And the unknown is the unknown. You don't know what people are going to say, but you have to go through it enough times to get to those who are ready to sign up. Okay. And even those who don't sign up right away, the seed's been sown. You're able to go on to the next one. So again, handling objections. And to me, the difference between the professionals and the amateurs are the amateurs are always trying to sell. They're overselling World Ventures. They're selling people on why they need what we have. They're selling, overselling all the, member benefits of our no-brainer club that we're all a part of. And the professionals, we're just sharing. And when I'm done with a formal exposure, if I'm done, sharing the ideas, creating an exposure, to me, what comes out of that person's mouth, along with their body language, they are now starting to either qualify themselves to get my time and energy, or they are disqualifying themselves. So I don't like the terminology overcoming objections, okay, or closing people in World Ventures. No, I'm sharing the ideas in genuine fashion, and then I'm allowing them to qualify or disqualify themselves. And what we're going to talk about here, the rest of the short presentation, is how can we tilt the odds in our favor, okay, because we are dealing with human beings. Not everybody's going to see things the way we want them to. Chances are you didn't see things right away the way you do now when you were exposed to this collective gift that we're all a part of now. Okay, so after you create the exposure, again, I don't care what it is, launch party, travel party, weekly event, one-on-one, press play, whatever. As soon as that presentation is done, turn to the person or the people that you invited and got there and say something with excitement that matches your personality. For me, these are my money lines. As soon as I'm done, I turn to the person, touch them, give them a high five, something, say, dude, that was freaking awesome, wasn't it? And then I shut up. Give them a chance to give you some positive energy back. Okay, give them a chance to at least give you some type of nonverbal cue. Now, if you don't say freaking awesome, say that was freaking cool. That was cool. That was really neato. Whatever your personality is, but say something with excitement to start creating the positive energy in the direction we want them to go, which is to eventually sign up and enroll with us. Okay, so yeah, most people are going to feed off that positive energy. And then I like to say, well, let me ask you, what are you most excited about? The vacations or the money? I'm creating an assumption that they're excited about something, an expectation of positivity here, that they're going to be excited about something. I mean, what's not to be excited about? You know, vacationing more for less, you know, the ability to surpass and, you know, make more money than you ever thought possible. You got to be excited about something if you have a pulse of some kind. So then I just turn and say, you know, let me ask you, what are you most excited about, the vacations or the money? And then I touch them on the shoulder or the knee or wherever, and I say, or both. It's okay to say both. And then I shut up again. Some of you are trying to recreate the presentation all over again. Be quiet. This is what separates the amateurs from the professionals. The professionals learn to love the silence. For many of you, it's going to be very uncomfortable in the beginning. Guess what? That's good. That means you're growing. It means you're stretching yourself. Okay, it means you're closer to becoming a professional and reaching your goals here. Learn to embrace the silence. We have the deal. We have the royal flush of all opportunities. They do not, I guarantee it. I don't care if that person makes $2 or $3 million a year. I can almost guarantee they're completely time broke and stressed out to make that kind of money. So whatever you think they got going on, quit it. Quit putting people on pedestals. Quit becoming emotionally attached. Okay. Now, this last line right here on your screen, this will make you an incredible amount of money. This will change future generations of your family. If you can get good at asking this question right here, as simple as it sounds, are you ready to get started and lock your spot? And then you really need to shut up. Are you ready to get started and lock your spot? So let me go through this again. The presentation ends. Whatever the exposure that you've created, it's over. The formal exposure. Bro, that was freaking awesome, wasn't it? Yeah, that was cool. All right, let me ask you this, man. What are you most excited about, the vacation part or the money part? And it's okay to say both. And then I'm shut up. Well, and then we'll get into this next part of what's going to come out of their mouth. Okay, as soon as there's a buying cue, well, I want to make more money for sure. Or, dude, I really want to take some more vacations. Awesome. So you ready to get started and lock your spot or what? That's it. Then I shut up. And then I'm a professional. I have an application with their name already filled out. That's another thing that's driving me crazy with some people. You don't have any physical applications. You're not treating this like a real business. You know, they say they want to sign up. You don't have Wi-Fi, or you're relying on sketchy Wi-Fi to sign them up. Be a professional. Be a professional and have physical applications. We've got some great application forms you can use. Okay? I have their name, their first and last name, because I'm a professional and they're going to fill that out. I have that positive expectation going in. All right, now here we go. Let's get into the specifics. In a perfect world, they're all going to say, yes, I love the vacations and the money, and I'm ready to get started. Where do I sign up? I can't sign up fast enough. And you will get some people who do that. But chances are you're not going to get them to sign up right away. They're going to have some things that come out of their mouth. And here's the thing. We're going to hear the same things over and over and over. Okay, I want you to start preparing your scenarios for me. I can take it because I guarantee anything you're going to ask me at the end of this presentation, don't ask me yet. Let me get through my scenarios that I hear most often. And then if there's something else you want me to address, bring it on, because I guarantee I've heard it over and over and over too. Okay, the first thing they're going to say, Eric, this looks awesome. I don't have the time, bro. I don't have the time to do this. Well, guess what, guys? The excuses they give you are always the solution to why they need to do this. Okay, now, if somebody's coming to one of my live presentations, I take a lot of these excuses out of it during the presentation. But a lot of you that are out press and play, or you're out stepping up and, you know, assuming the leadership role in your area, God bless you. Keep doing it. I love it. I love seeing people stepping up and being absolutely terrible at presenting on their own. The first, the second, the fifth, the 10th time, because then I know they're not going to be. Just like me and the other leaders, we were terrible in the beginning too. So in my presentation, yeah, as many of you have been to, I take away a lot of these excuses, but we still hear it because we're dealing with human beings. Everybody's disguised as human beings. So they say, Eric, I just don't have the time, man. You know what I always say? I know that's the exact reason why they do it. I'm like, well, bro, of course you don't have the time. That's why I thought of you. Let's be real here, man. If you keep doing what you're doing, you're probably never going to have any more time freedom. Would you agree? Now, I'm not going to sell them any more on this idea. Remember, I am qualifying or disqualifying them. They are qualifying or disqualifying themselves. I am not trying to sell them or convince them against their will. If it's not obvious to them after I say this, that yeah, they need to make some changes to create some more time freedom, then you know what? I'm going to move on to somebody who gets it. I'll save them later. I do think there's one unique thing when it comes to the time objection is you have to really educate people that this is never an either or situation. See, wealthy people never look at life in terms of either or. Okay, that's another thing I get you in the habit of doing is saying wealthy people usually don't, whatever their excuse might is. Successful people usually don't. So you're not saying that they're not successful. You're just saying this is what successful people, the way they think and act. I'll talk more about this throughout these different excuses and objections we're going to hear. Okay, but you're playing off the human ego there. So they say, Eric, I don't have the time. Well, of course you don't have the time. Well, let's be honest, man. If you keep doing what you're doing now, are you ever going to have more time freedom? Well, no, probably not if they're honest. And then I got to educate you. Do you understand that you could be doing World Ventures full time, putting in 3 to 5 smart hours a week? Well, what do you mean? Okay, you just have to get good at inviting and getting people to see the same ideas that you just saw here, the same way you saw them, or with one of our other presentations or exposure methods. If you get good at that a few hours a week, you can start to create more leverage through the team support that's in place. That's eventually going to create more time freedom for you down the road. So you could be doing World Ventures full time, putting in 3 to 5 hours per week. Make sure they understand that. For a lot of people, they look at life through the context of either or. I could be a great husband, or I could do World Ventures. I can be a great mother, or I could do World Ventures. I can be a great employee, or I can do World Ventures. No. And let them know, hey, successful people, as you know, usually don't look at life in terms of either or. Do this a few hours a week. Allow the power of teamwork to make the dream work for you. Okay, so that's on time. If I did not answer that satisfactorily, then ask me at the end of this. Number 2, Eric, this looks awesome. I don't have the money. All right, this is what fits my personality. This is what I use all the time. And if it fits your personality, I would encourage you to use it too. If somebody tells me, Eric, I just don't have the money, I'm gonna be like, bro, is that just your polite way of telling me you're not interested? And then I shut up. And then I wait and say, no, I don't have the money. And I say, well, bro, that's exactly why you need to do this. Of course you don't have the money. This is why you need to find the money and do this so you never have to have that problem ever again. You don't have to make any more decisions based off time and money the rest of your life. And then I use my example. Look, I didn't have the money either. I was drowning in debt. I was on the verge of bankruptcy. But if the why is big enough, the how finds a way. I did one credit card balance transfer to another one. And you guys, whatever your story is, learn to embrace your story. And I tell them, look, let's go get creative and find you the money, because that's going to become part of your story. That's going to duplicate as we go out and share with other people. They cannot give us the money excuse because you didn't have the money either, but you figured out a way to get it. Okay, now I get that a lot of people might not just have 360, 282, 510, whatever they're coming in at money right away. I know I've got somebody to work with. If I can have a high-level discussion, say, look, man, when are you going to have the money? How can you get the money? And if they tell me, well, I get paid on Friday, or I will go do some side work, I will hustle up some work on the side. I will go get a loan from somewhere or someone. I will go sell something online. And then they give me a specific date, and I should have it by next Friday, this coming Thursday, the week after next, the first of the month. If they keep their word and their commitment and they do what they say they're going to do, then I know I have something to work with. If they don't, then I knew they were just BSing me the whole time, and that was just their polite way of telling me they're not interested, or chances are they just have a broke mindset. They need a lot more work on personal development. Okay, so if somebody says they don't have the money, I kid around and say, hey man, is that just your polite way of telling me no? I mean, come on, if you really want to come up with a few $100s, we know you've done stupid things before that nobody will ever know about that cost more than a few $100s. So tell me anything, just don't tell me you don't have the money. And then I just shut up and listen to them. And they say, no, I mean, I want to do it. I just don't have the money. And I say, well, how can you get the money? If you really want to do it and you're honest with me, how can you get the money? Let them figure out the game plan. Say, okay. And then you give them a timeline. You give them a date that they just help you establish it. I will have it by next Friday. Okay. And then, then I go share with as many people before next Friday as possible, because anybody who says yes will go in before that person. Okay. If I did not answer that money objection satisfactorily, ask me at the end of the presentation. Okay. How about this one? It's pretty awesome. Are you ready to get started? Lock your spot with us. Well, no, I mean, I like it. I got to go ask my spouse or significant other. And again, this is my personality. I say, okay, so you like it. You're being honest with me here. Yeah, no, yeah, I like it. But is this just your polite way of telling me that you're not really interested? No, I really do. I like it. Because, okay, so you need to go get your spouse or significant other's permission to do this. Well, not their permission, but we like to do things together. I get that. I respect that too. And I'm like, great. I mean, I want you both to be excited about this. Let me ask you this. You say you're excited. You say you want to do it. Okay. If your spouse or significant other is also excited and wants to do it, then there shouldn't be any problem with you signing up, right? No, I don't think so. As long as they like it, and yeah, I want to do it. And I say, well, what if they don't like it? Is that a deal breaker for you? I want to get it all out in the open before we go and approach the spouse or significant other. Okay, I'm not going to waste my time if they're not serious about this. Well, I want them to be a part of this, but I guess, it's not their final call. Okay. Or they say, well, yeah, unfortunately, if they're not interested, then, I probably can't do it. I respect that too. I think that's a tragic, relationship in some respects, but I'm not here to judge. I mean, whatever. But here's the key. A lot of you are allowing that person to go home and verbally vomit all over the person, try to recreate the formal exposure they saw. So this is what I do. They genuinely act like they're interested, and they genuinely tell me they want to get the approval or the buy-in of their spouse or significant other. I just say, look, I think it's only fair that they see exactly what you saw. Okay, can we meet tomorrow for coffee so they can see this exactly the way you saw it? Can I come over later tonight? Can they come to tomorrow's launch party over at another team member of mine's house? Can they come in 2 days? Whatever, get them to the next formal exposure. Don't just let them run home and verbally vomit all over their spouse or significant other. You're going to lose them every time that way. Okay, that's how I handle that one. Okay, the old too good to be true, man. This is like one of those pyramids. Again, to me, I'm very rapidly qualifying or disqualifying somebody. Now there's two tones to this question. Let's talk about the whole pyramid thing. Okay, if somebody is very, very close-minded and almost vitriolic and hostile towards me, and this probably hasn't happened to me in years, by the way, but in the beginning, I just attracted, like we all do, people who just didn't get it or didn't have the life experience or don't understand how real wealth is created. And if somebody says to you, this is a freaking pyramid, man, you're going to hell, you're going to jail, this is stupid. To me, they've already disqualified themselves. Why in the world am I going to spend hours and hours of energy trying to reprogram them, re-educate them? What I will say, I don't want to call this a parting shot, but what I will say to kind of plant a seed that might germinate and allow them to alter their mindset in the months and years ahead is say, hey man, I appreciate your honesty, but you're number one, you're calling me a scam artist because you think I would get involved with something illegal. And number two, I haven't met any, super wealthy, super successful people that even use words like pyramids. So I'm sorry you think that way, but this obviously is not a fit for you. Okay, that's how I handle somebody who's hostile with the pyramid objection. Now, especially, as we're building teams with people in their, 20s and maybe don't have the life experience, although what we're finding is a lot of people in their 20s, have been presented with multiple network marketing and direct selling deals already. So you need to get to them too before they jump into some other, program that maybe isn't going to help them to achieve their dreams and goals. And sometimes people ask just a genuine question like, hey, I mean, how is this not a pyramid? And I say, well, a pyramid's illegal. A pyramid means you're exchanging money with no real value of a product. I think you would agree that our membership is packed with value. I mean, there's a real product with real value, almost, more so than any other home-based business I've seen. Well, yeah, definitely, man. These dream trips look amazing. All the other benefits you get look amazing. It's definitely value driven. So, that's what we're referring to other people, something that has a tremendous amount of value. Okay, so there's an exchange of something that, can definitely benefit people from a value component. Yeah, I get that. And you understand that you can make more than me, right? I have dozens of team members on my team that make more than me. You can always out earn the person above you. Okay, so that's why we don't use words like pyramid, and that's why you don't hear successful people use that word too often, because they understand that, hey, it is what it is. It's no different from the corporate pyramid structure, the not-for-profit pyramid structure, the church hierarchy, the school system pyramid. I mean, whatever, everything's, if you want to call it a pyramid from that logic. You just kind of educate them on that, and they're, again, they're either going to be open-minded or they're going to remain closed-minded. Okay, I want you, something that a lot of you hear me say a lot of times is closed minds don't get fed. Some of you are taking it so personally that the first few people you share with don't get it, or they're closed-minded to it, and you're allowing that to take you out of the game. Okay, if you become addicted to other people's opinions, I mean, I don't know what you're going to do in life. Truthfully, that's of significance, and if you accept somebody's opinion, you got to accept their lifestyle. So, be very, very careful of the free advice you take, ladies and gentlemen, because free advice is not free. Okay. The world's top authors, speakers, trainers, the wealthiest entrepreneurs in the world, the wealthiest investors, they all support network marketing. They love network marketing. They outright own network marketing companies. They endorse network marketing companies. They write about it. They speak about it. And a lot of them are just a part of network marketing programs, and a lot of them speak at their biggest events. Heck, we got Robert Kiyosaki coming to The View to speak to us here in a few months. So just be very careful who you listen to, okay? Find those who want the lifestyle you have, or at least know what the heck they're talking about, and listen to their opinions and listen to what they have to say. All right, so how about this one? Eric, it looks cool. I got to go home and do my research. Somebody tells me I got to do their research. They got to go Google it. I'm like, okay, do you not trust me or the people that invited you to see this? No, I trust you. I just want to go, double check. Now, you saw where if you find the price is cheaper anywhere else, you get to go for free, okay? Or if you find airfare hotels, you get 150% back, okay? And I just say, is this kind of your polite way of telling me no? No, I just want to go do my research. And, guys, we don't have anything to hide. I mean, people can find anything out there on Google. I mean, go Google Christianity, go Google Coca-Cola scam, go Google, whatever, unicorns. I mean, whatever, go Google. You're going to seek and ye shall find. What you really got to do, I talked about this in the inviting webinars, be armed with materials. Treat this like a real multi-million-dollar business. Give them a living proof magazine. Give them a DVD where you can control as much more where they go to get their information. And at the end of the day, if they're going to go to some anonymous blog with some guy and living with his mom in his underwear, picking boogers, I mean, they're going to listen to them over 10-year track record of success, of winning just about every major travel award there is, of being a top 50 global company within direct selling now, of doing $352 million last year. That if they're going to allow anonymous blogs or haters or whatever to make their decision, to me, they've disqualified themselves. They're not going to be tough enough when the first person tells them no, or the first person lets them down or quits on them. Okay, so again, you try to control it as best you can. This is all about putting the overall odds in our favor, but give them some physical materials they can go to, and then just call them out. Say, I'm not sure what you need to go research. I mean, if you trust me and all the experts who've already done the research, you need to get signed up and lock your spot. All right, how about this one? Hey, Eric, it looks great. I want to wait to get my 4 so I don't have to pay a monthly fee. I'm like, man, when somebody tells me this, I say, I'm really looking for leaders and winners here. And again, I understand, maybe in your mind that's logical, but from an ethical standpoint, if you're going to go build your business that way, then you need to wait till those 4 get their 4, and those 16 get their 4, okay, and their 64 get their 4 before anybody would ever sign up. Nobody will sign up. Okay, people are going to come in the same way you are. I think it's only right and ethical that they would have to get their four to get their four, and then there's never going to be anybody purchasing the product, nobody joining the membership. So, when people tell me that, I just try to call them out on it. And, again, that's to me, that's a broke, limited mindset when people say that. They're starting to disqualify themselves right away. How about this one? Eric, man, this looks cool. I tried one of these things before. I'm always spinning their excuse or objection into a positive tone. I'm gonna say, awesome, you've got some experience. Yeah, but it didn't go very well. I didn't make any money. I didn't get the support I thought I was gonna get, blah, blah, blah. And I always cut them off before they go down that road. And I say, well, hold on. I think it's great that you tried this out. You were thinking positively and proactively about your life. You were thinking like an entrepreneur. Can I ask you, what was it about the program you saw that got you excited? Try to revisit in their minds why they said yes in the first place. And usually they're going to say things like, well, I saw a way to make some extra money. I saw a way to help people. I liked the product, I thought. I saw a way to, maybe retire my wife or my husband or spend more time with my kids, create more leverage in my life, kind of revisit that and say yes. And here's what I'm here to tell you. If you got one more run in you, this is the vehicle that I've aligned with to do all those exact same things. So if you got one more run in you, okay, we all kiss a few girls or guys before we find the one that we marry. I love to use that one. We all kiss a few boys or a few girls before we find the one that we marry. The business world, the entrepreneurial world is certainly no different. But if you got one more run in you, let's lock arms and let's go achieve those dreams and goals you had the last time or a few times you've tried one of these home-based businesses. That's worked really well for us recently. Okay, how about this one? Eric, man, I'm just not a salesperson like you. I can't do this. I always kid around and say, you know what? You're trying to sell me on the fact that you're not a salesperson. And they laugh. And then I say, you know what? Great. I don't want you to be a salesperson. Salespeople often struggle mightily, certainly on their initial journey together. J.C. Wagaman, my dear friend, he was a six-figure insurance salesperson. And that really hurt him in the beginning because what we found is this is not a transactional business. You don't get rich just signing up a bunch of people as members into World Ventures. This is a relationship-driven business. As soon as you sign somebody up or somebody joins, that's just the beginning. You have to invest in that person. You have to find out what their goals are, what their dreams are. Plug them into the system, go to work with them and for them to continue to pay it forward to other people. That's the best part of this business is, investing in people to change their lives. And as soon as they bring new people on, it's not about them anymore either. We got to keep paying it forward and helping as many people as possible. So again, with a limited belief or mindset, you try to educate them as best as you can, but I'm not going to sit here and convince them against their will. But if somebody says they're not a salesperson, I say, awesome. I don't particularly like salespeople because they struggle in this, but you seem like a genuine person. And this is all about building relationships and helping other people to change their lives. That's what you're going to love about it. If that excites you, if you feel you're good at that sort of thing, you're going to be unstoppable on this journey together. All right, so guys, let's come back here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now so everybody can watch the things we talked about. Those of you on the live presentation, go ahead and start putting some specific questions here that I can answer for you with the next, a little bit of time that we have together.